This privacy notice is aimed at helping you make informed decisions about how you wish your privacy and data to be handled by the Cabinet Office. It follows Articles 13 and/or 14 of the General Data Protection Regulation open brackets, GDPR, close brackets. Data. Why and what? Why are we collecting data? We collect and process your personal data in order to obtain opinions from citizens and stakeholders. This is especially useful in response to consultations, surveys, and other interactive forms. Citizens and stakeholders include disabled people who aren't typically represented by larger organizations. Also, those with complex needs and multiple protected characteristics. Inform policies included in the National Strategy for Disabled People. Highlight groups requiring further face-to-face consultation. Begin a dialogue with key organizations on both the needs of and the government's commitment to disabled people. What is the data? We will not ask you to identify yourself, although you may choose to do so. This is a voluntary process, and we treat your data as personal. We will process the following personal data: opinions, gender, age, whether or not you consider yourself to have a disability, ethnicity, any information volunteered in free text boxes. The site will also collect IP address data, which is essential for the operation of the service. With your permission, we will collect your email address. This will be used to keep up to date with future consultations and activities you may wish to be informed of. You can unsubscribe to a mailing list at any time. The legal basis. The legal basis for processing your data is as follows. It is necessary for the performance of a task carried out in the public interest. Is it in the exercise of official authority vested in the data controller? In this case, it is to consult with key stakeholders in order to inform policies included in the National Strategy for Disabled People, open brackets, currently under development, close brackets. Highlight groups requiring further face-to-face consultation. Begin a dialogue with key organizations about the needs of disabled people and the government's commitment to disabled people. Personal data is sensitive. It is the data that may reveal racial or ethnic origin, political opinions, religious or philosophical beliefs, trade union membership, the processing of genetic data, biometric data for the purpose of uniquely identifying a natural person, data concerning health or data concerning a natural person's sex life or sexual orientation. The legal basis for processing your sensitive personal data as listed is that it is necessary for the purposes of identifying or keeping under review the existence or absence of equality of opportunity. Or treatment between groups of people with a view to enabling such equality to be promoted or maintained. Recipients. We will not publish responses. Aggregate information, open brackets, which is not personal data, close brackets, created from responses may be shared with other public bodies or published. This may include anonymous quotes. Throughout the process, you will be asked for your permission, and we aim to make this as clear as possible. Your personal data will be shared with our online consultation platform provider and their hosting provider. As your personal data will be stored on our IT infrastructure, it will also be shared with our data processors who provide email. And document management and storage services. Retention. Your personal data will be securely disposed of once we have completed our analysis and used this information to inform the National Strategy for Disabled People. We anticipate that the analysis will be completed no later than 12 months from the end of the consultation. Where personal data have not been obtained from you. What happens if your personal data were obtained from another correspondent? The rights set out below explain what you can do. Your rights. You have the right to request information about how your personal data are processed and to request a copy of that personal data. You have the right to request that any inaccuracies in your personal data are rectified without delay. You have the right to request that any incomplete personal data are completed, including by means of a supplementary statement. You have the right to request that your personal data are erased if there is no longer a justification for them to be processed. You have the right, in certain circumstances, open brackets, for example, where accuracy is contested, close brackets, to request that the processing of your personal data is restricted. You have the right to object to the processing of your personal data. International transfers. Data submitted to our online consultation platform provider and their hosting provider will be stored in the UK. as your personal data is stored on our IT infrastructure and shared with our data processors. It may be transferred and stored securely outside the UK. Where that is the case, it will be subject to equivalent legal protection through the use of model contract clauses. Contact details. The data controller for your personal data is the Cabinet Office. The contact details for the data controller are Cabinet Office, 70 Whitehall, London, Southwest 1A 2AS, or 0207 276 1234, or public correspondence at cabinetoffice.gov.uk. The contact details for the data controller's data protection officer are Stephen Jones, Data Protection Officer, Cabinet Office, Room 405, 70 Whitehall, London, Southwest 1A 2AS, or dpo at cabinetoffice.gov.uk. The Data Protection Officer provides independent advice and monitoring of Cabinet Office's use of personal information. Complaints. If you consider that your personal data has been misused or mishandled, you may make a complaint to the Information Commissioner, who is an independent regulator. The Information Commissioner can be contacted at Information Commissioner's Office, Wycliffe House, Water Lane, Wilmslow, Cheshire, SK9 5AF, or 0303 123 1113, or casework at ico.org.uk. Any complaint to the Information Commissioner is without prejudice to your right to seek redress through the courts.